have a listener. Now, if I know anything about people like you, and trust me, I have a fairly good understanding, you do not know much about life among monsters and under gods. Never fear, dear listener, for I can be your guide through this tumultuous journey into our troublesome world. That is, if you're bold enough to accompany me. You see, if you truly want to know the fates of our beloved heroes, you must brave the murkiest of waters, the darkest of forests, and the sweetest of shops. Does that worry you? It probably should, but if you're still listening, welcome to Roanoke. You know the drill by now. Edith wakes up in a bed, still not hers, but becoming at least familiar. The room is lived in to the point of necessity, not comfort. She still lives partly out of a suitcase, and she changes, checks her face, grabs her bag. It's only as she's halfway out the door to work that she realizes.
Oh, it's my day off. What to do?
It's been 2 days since she tried to read in the dark beneath the Roanoke Public Library, and the day after she slung scoops and sprinkles in back-to-back shifts, mind turning in circles and getting nowhere. She told herself as her head hit the pillow that today she would get further in the mystery. So far, she has succeeded in burning toast and reading the latest note of the elusive Aunt Linda.
Edith, be careful if you go out. The fog has been growing thicker. I've never quite seen anything like it. However, if you keep out of the woods and don't stray too far on your own, you will be perfectly fine. Have a good day.
How reassuring. I think I'll stay inside with that resounding note.
Edith wanders back upstairs, thinking. She doesn't need to go outside. Outside is where all of the problems are. She would much rather be inside, where she can solve them. By herself, without the warm summer sun on her skin, a breeze toying with her hair. Nah, who needs any of that? Edith crosses the room, reaching under the mattress. She pulls out a bundle of goodies, laying them all out on the floor. A newspaper, a journal, a few stray notes of hers scribbled on an elevator in silence, a rough drawing of a tree struck by lightning. The mystery is all around her, and furiously enough, the clues are too. Just out of reach, inches away.
Disappearances, monster attacks, strange places.
It has been her mantra longer than she cares to admit. She reaches for the newspaper to read it again, only she freezes. Edith is willing to ignore the way the knock rattled through the house, believe it is a knock at a next-door neighbor's. But Roanoke is a weird town, not a big one. She sweeps the clues back under her bed, deciding the mystery of who could be at the door is better than the one before her. Or easier to solve at the least.
I don't understand why anyone would look for Linda here. She's never home. Why are you at my house?
Because it's not your house. It's Linda's. And everyone knows Linda Turner.
I hope you understand how weird it is that you know where I live and I don't know where you live.
You opened that can of grubs, not me.
And let yourself in while you're at it. And it's worms. What, did you show up here to eat my food instead?
Come to the beach with my friends?
Edith blinks. Once. Slowly. Her mouth moving. Then her head whips like she has collided with a brick wall. She's trying to figure out where to begin.
Yep, this was stupid. I'm leaving.
Wait, what? Bentley! Wait.
Fine.
You want me to go with you and your friends To the beach.
We tend to go to the rocks more than the beach, but it's the same idea.
Okay, please don't make this any more confusing. You've made it sound like your friends are a wild bunch.
Oh, you remember that?
Yes.
It's complicated, but yeah, they're my friends. However that is.
Can I trust them?
Can you trust me?
You'll introduce me?
They don't need one.
When is this going on?
A few hours.
You're inviting me to something with almost no warning?
Yeah, we made the plans like 20 minutes ago. Was I supposed to put this on the calendar with a 72-hour reservation?
I don't even know where I'm going.
Well, maybe if you took a second to realize you're not the only one capable of making plans, you'd let me fill you in.
Regretfully, I'm listening.
Okay, so, that house?
The Croat house.
Yeah, that sucker. You said we should look into it. Well, let's go.
Right now?
Night's young.
It is 8 o'clock in the morning.
Like I said, we go to the Croat house, take a look around, and then we'll meet up with my friends.
That's not a bad plan.
She considers it a few moments longer. The idea of breaking into a house and meeting up with potentially undesirables, but definitely strangers. But also, it has been so long since Edith has had a group, a plan she herself did not make for the day, the feeling that she is actually doing something. She's not the type to complain about it, but she has been lonely and adrift, and for all of her misgivings about this boy, he was throwing her a lifeline.
Why not? Not like this could end badly.
A funny thing about lifelines, they extend in both directions.
This would have gone a lot faster if you had just gotten on the back of my bike.
That death trap, I'll pass.
Did you just...
What?
Nothing. Let's break our first set of laws today.
I've got to say, I've never been in here.
Boy like you? I thought you would have broken in here by now.
Nobody comes over here. This house is...
Creepy.
Yeah. You said you went in there?
I opened the door.
More than the rest of us. And?
It closed it.
Great. Ladies first.
Great.
Edith takes a breath. The house looms above them, seeming to sway in the breeze. She rolls her shoulders and steps forward, covering the remaining part of the welcome mat. Edith touches the door.
Open sesame.
Before she can reconsider, she crosses the threshold. The house is dark, but there are enough holes in the windows and ceilings that patches of sunlight sift through. The interior was in shambles, every inch whispering in defeat its once grandiose state. The floral wallpaper peeled from the wall, revealing stained and rotted wood. Furniture was strewn about. Shards of wood and glass and questionable objects littered the floor. The centerpiece was a rusted chandelier, cratered in the floor.
Yikes.
This is what seemed so important?
You have to admit it has an air about it.
Yeah, of mold. Where are we headed?
I don't trust those stairs to hold our weight, so let's keep it on the ground floor for now.
What type of person do you think lived here?
One long dead, that's for sure.
But look at all of these decorations. Fancy.
Eclectic.
Scattered.
An outsider from the rest of this town, that's for sure.
Interesting. Edith goes to try another door, only for it to be so rotten that it opens seemingly on its own. Well, I think it's because it was rotten. The two exchange another glance before Edith steps inside.
Holy Mother of God.
I know you think I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I think that doesn't matter when I say I have no idea what's going on here.
You're not the smartest person in this room.
Ouch, Sprinkles.
I almost take back every mean thing I said about the archives.
What a mess.
Our criminal duo is standing in the doorway to a room that is decidedly not a mess, just controlled chaos. What might have once been a dining room outfitted with a long, grand table, cabinets of fine china and portraits, has been thoroughly converted. Objects linger on every possible surface. There are beakers, books, bric-a-brac, clothes, wine bottles, a bike wheel, 2 halves of an ancient shield, and more in a deluge of items. It seems the room has become an all-purpose storage container. The portraits have been artfully and crudely graffitied, one with the eyes ripped out, and another with a goatee drawn over the person's face.
I don't even think I can make it across the floor.
How is all of this stuff in, well, not good condition, but not rotting like everything else? Shouldn't there be a bunch of dust?
Bentley's questions put a pall over them. They are, possibly surprisingly, very good questions.
I did not think of that.
My strategy is just ignore my problems and walk away.
Let's do that, shall we? You don't think...
No, that would be...
Someone's not actually living here, right?
No, in this dump? In this town? We'd know. We'd see them. Right?
Would you look at the time? I think we have to get to,
The beach? Yeah, we should go, like, right now.
The two make a very quick escape through the front door, the house creaking behind them in a way that sounds almost a little bit like laughter.
So, where exactly are we headed?
We're meeting my friends just past Clement's Liquor.
Are they anything like you? I might have to reconsider if they are.
Only in ways that matter.
What? Wait, what is that?
Yo, Bentley! So nice of you to join us, man.
Impatient much? Boy Wonder over here isn't even late.
Look at what he dragged in with him.
There are 3 youths gathered around a battered van. One with hooded eyes and a jitter in his hands is seated behind the ripped-up wheel, practically falling out of the front. Another had been laying on the roof, but sat up halfway with Bentley's arrival. A third boy was simply leaning against the dented side, and despite his nonchalant atmosphere, he passed the new arrivals a small smile. Edith couldn't help but notice. It was a nice smile.
You're the one with a car. Can't even pick me up?
Not worth the gas.
Bentley might not be, but I'm more curious about the new girl. You're new around here, right?
Yeah, I'm staying with my aunt for the summer.
Being with you 3 literally rots my brain. Institutions are in order. Edith, these scoundrels are Alex, Bobby, and Jordan.
He points to each in turn. Alex is the bored yet impatient one. Bobby is the one on the roof. And Jordan is the leaning one.
Scoundrels, this is Edith.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, girlie. You up to getting in trouble today?
We're not that bad, Edith. We're just a couple of kids having fun on a summer afternoon.
Alex might be pulling your leg, but I'm up for anything.
Dude, why do you love the Devil's Curtain so much?
Oh, come on, you know why. It's the best place to be in this town.
This buzz ain't gonna last forever. Are we going or what?
Well, you heard him. Get in the car, losers, and definitely don't bother buckling up.
Jordan hops into the back, Bobby swinging deftly over the edge and into a seat. The two start talking animatedly. Bentley turns to Edith, who has been processing the entire interaction.
No turning back.
He has a strange look on his face, somewhere between pleased and uncertain. Somehow this is important to him, but whether it be that Edith is simply here, or if Edith actually likes his friends, is still uncertain. Still, there is a level of uneasiness about him that she can't parse out. Edith thinks of where she could be, alone at Linda's house, pondering the same clues, missing out on some part of the puzzle that is Bentley.
If you honestly think I'm the type of person who turns back from a challenge, then maybe you really don't know me.
Perhaps some puzzles are needed to be solved before others.
Ooh, tell Edith about the pool prank. Best thing we ever did.
Eyes on the road, genius. Jesus Christ, with the way you drive, we won't live long enough to top it.
I don't know, dude. I'd be curious to see what his driving is like blindfolded.
Jordan, you know I love your thrill-seeking proclivities as much as the next, but I swear to God, if you so much as scratch this van, I will...
Aw, just kiss already, you two.
Ugh, just drive, dude.
Please, we all know you could get just another one within a week.
A week? Has Bobby gotten rusty or something?
I'd be in mourning. This one has sentimental value.
Did I hear something about a pool?
Should have been there, Edith. Damn glorious.
You didn't see it when we were at the school, but RHS has a pool. Somewhere in that supply closet was a whole bunch of pool supplies.
Noodles, floaties, tubes, you name it. Some gym teacher went ham on their order.
And we thought, hey, that's a lot of stuff. Why not find out how much stuff there is?
And so we taped it all together and then covered the pool.
Edith is lost on the humor of this prank, but their energy is infectious.
So you covered the whole pool in floaties?
The layer was so thick you could walk on it.
Yeah, you did, until you went through the middle of a tube and almost drowned.
Oh, but a dashing hero came and saved me, so it was all worth it.
You're lucky I even let you out of my sight sometimes.
In case you couldn't tell, Edith, I'm the brains. Jordan is the one actually willing to do it. And Alex is, yeah, I don't know what you do.
Moral support, Bobby.
He eggs all of us on.
Yeah, and Bentley makes sure we don't die. Or worse, get caught. At least not too much.
Really?
Yeah, he's a natural caretaker, what can I say?
We'll know it when we see it, Bobby.
Okay, so that's a prank you did. But what if instead of taping the pool toys in the pool, you taped them to the ceiling?
I mean, most of the teachers are too stupid to look up.
Yeah, and if we rigged up a system where we could drop them all once a whole class was in there.
Can you imagine? Just a torrential downpour of floaties.
Hack the sound system, play some Jesse Whitestone songs. That would make everyone go crazy.
Yeah, everyone would start moshing.
We should set off the sprinklers when we do it.
Guys, this is a great idea. They'll never expect us to hit the pool again. The sequel. Damn, I never expected to actually look forward to going back to school.
Yeah, definitely.
That comment is lost in the excited chatter filling the van. Jordan keeps flicking his eyes between Bentley and Edith, and he finally leans in closer to Bentley, who startles at the proximity, but almost leans into it.
So where did you find the new girl? All my years trying to find you a lady and you take the fun right from me.
Edith takes a moment to realize what Jordan is implying. The idea is so preposterous she laughs. Just as she's about to tell Jordan what she can get accomplished with the baseball bat, Bentley's face changes.
I barely even like her. She's more of a nuisance than anything.
Tell me how you really feel.
Hey, I didn't mean to offend anyone. Just wanted some clarification on the situation here.
We're merely acquaintances. Possibly less than that.
Ah, they put the chain up again. Lovebirds, go take it down.
Yeah, no one knows who you mean by that, Alex.
Isn't that so wonderful? Someone, just go move the chain.
I'll go.
Nah, you'll have your hands full later. Hey, new girl, let me get the door for us.
Edith slides out of the van, past both irritating boys, stomping off to the gate. Well, gate is putting it nicely. It was 2 rotting posts with a loop of chains blocking the dirt road. That's not what gave Edith pause.
We're going into the forest.
Where'd you think we were going, Edith? You see a body of water in the middle of town?
No, my aunt said I should never go in the forest.
Because there are monsters in the wood?
I'm sure that was a factor.
I'll tell you what, Edith. While it's fair to fear the monsters in the woods, there are monsters outside of them, too.
Then I suppose you have to pick your allies carefully.
And do you think you picked well?
I can't exactly stay inside all day in fear, can I?
The two have drifted rather close together. Jordan towers over Edith, and she looks up at him, assessing. She breaks eye contact to undo the chain. Whatever she was looking for, Edith has decidedly not found it in Jordan.
If it's any consolation, we're barely going into the woods. We just need to skirt around the edge to get to the coast.
Aw, I'm sure my aunt will appreciate that.
You're supposed to have fun, have an adventure when you go away. Who can blame me for giving you an opportunity?
I'd love to see you defend that in court.
Edith gives him a grin as she walks past, and she ignores Bentley as she gets back into the truck. Yet, as Jordan clambers back inside, thumping on the side, Bentley just frowns at all of them. Edith can't help feeling she's fumbled on a question in a test, but she's too mad to care. Drama indeed.
Alrighty, boys! Let's go wild!
Dude, we aren't even a foot away.
Wow, you can measure.
All right, everybody out. I need some space from all this bickering.
You need to help us with the stuff.
You're number one on the list I'm trying to avoid, Nellie.
The pack of rats and Edith clamber out of the van, their feet sinking into the sand. In that moment, Edith's lingering misgivings over the woods, her upset feelings towards Bentley, and whatever vibes she was getting from his friends, all of that faded into the distance. Edith Raleigh is a girl who lived in a walled city all her life. The walls of Jericho towered above her home, and the sky became her ocean, deep, blue, and vast. The ocean was just a faraway idea to her, something to be feared, something awfully revered. It was a freedom she could never touch. Even when she arrived in Roanoke, a place decidedly with no walls, but far too many barriers and dark corners, the water was just in sight, but just as much a fiction to her. There was no avoiding this. Stretched before her was a fairy tale come to life. The afternoon sky collided with the deep, dark sea, and between that endless point and her, the sea crashed against the beach. The forest wrapped around it in a cove. Trees tapered off into a rocky shore. Sand slowly replacing grass.
It's a good view, huh, Edith?
It's the best thing I've seen in a long time.
Yo! Who's got the cooler? Let's get this party started!
Wait, were you pre-gaming?
It's called enjoying life to the fullest.
The two drift off down towards the water, chattering excitedly and occasionally punching each other. Bentley lingers by Edith and Jordan, looking like his usual uncaring self. But there's a bristle under his skin that Edith can notice now. She's not sure when she was able to understand Bentley a little better like this.
You know how to swim?
A little. We have a pool at school for lessons. I'd say I have a mean freestyle. If I'm being chaste.
Well, what are we waiting for?
You two?
Hey, you didn't have to sulk over there.
I don't want to know what those two are doing down there.
Do we ever?
I think I could answer that for you.
The three take off for the beach. It is a small strip of sand with a water-beaten log rolled along the edge. Edith pauses by a molding wooden sign. It's crumbling, but the writing on it is clear. No swimming at any time. Edith looks back at the water.
Sprinkles?
What?
You good over there?
Yeah, like you really care.
Who wants party powder?
No.
Yeah, I think you poisoned us all with your last one.
Oh, you guys, I changed the recipe this time.
That doesn't make any of us feel better.
More for me, then.
I mean, I can take a guess as to what you rats want to do today.
Hey, I thought we prided ourselves on our unpredictability.
Except some of us have a death wish and jump off the highest cliff he can see.
It's not a death wish if you don't die.
No, it's procrastination.
Yeah, they do this every time, Edith.
They should make it interesting and actually fight.
I bet you bought fuel for the boat, too?
Yep.
Oh, now don't tell us you're too chicken, Bentley.
Oh, I'm gonna jump off the cliff. I just want you all to know it's a bad idea.
I would like clarification as to what cliff this is and why it's a bad idea. Besides the whole, it's a cliff and we're jumping off it thing.
Edith, I am so glad you asked. The beach is great, but you know what's better?
He points out to the sea, but now that Edith is closer, she can see it now. A rock outcropping, rising out of the waves. It is as if some deity created a mountain and then dropped it in the ocean instead of on land in a fit of passion, and now only the tip is visible.
That. The Devil's Curtain. So we take Bobby's boat over, set up the party, and jump off.
But it's so tall. And there are probably rocks all around it underwater.
Yeah, but we've checked all around it and know all the best places to land. It could be way more dangerous.
You up for a leap of faith, new girl?
Typically, Edith is not a daredevil, a risk taker. Yet, something has been emboldened in her, and she's not interested in analyzing where that came from. Whatever it is, her eyes cut to a scowling Bentley, and a slow smile spreads across her face.
Let's get to it.